What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Small Business Sundays. I'm your host for the evening, Darnell. This series is all about buying black, featuring honest conversations with black entrepreneurs on the creative process. You see that in the business models. So today, I have a very, very special guest, Gianna Graham.
Hello.
Gianna Graham is so many things. So many things that I call her a mogul at this point because she is. We could talk about curating and creating events and experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
We could talk about properties.
We can.
You want to talk about that?
We can talk about that.
I seen something, so I had to mention it.
Yes.
We could talk about experience as a whole.
Yes.
Again,
Yes.
Gianna Graham.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
How's your mental?
Great. Better. I'm going to say that. Better. Yes. Yes.
It's wild times out here. So
Yes.
I definitely want to open up all my interviews and make sure I ask how our mental is at this point because it's a lot going on.
Yes.
There's always a lot going on, but we always seem to push through. But at the same time, we got to check on each other. So that's why we do that.
Yes.
So before we go into it, can we talk about this beautiful spread that you have created right here?
Yes. So I made a cheese board. We have, different types of cheeses. We have some spreads. We have some breads. We have some crackers and some fresh fruit, along with some wine.
Okay. And we're going to try some cheeses, right?
Yes, we're going to try it.
We're going to try some cheeses at some point, which is amazing. I never experienced it, so like this is the great thing about Gianna Graham because she brings these type of experiences to you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You got a wedding coming up, birthday party, we're going to plug them already. You can get this type of spread, right?
Yes.
Something
Yes. They could get something larger.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yes.
But if you want this size, you can get it too, right?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So first off, can we toast to
Yes, we can.
Small Business Sundays?
Yes.
We got some Riesling.
Yes.
I'm nervous, but it's all good. And let's get right into it.
Let's go.
So I want to know, learning about the business, what are your earliest memories of learning entrepreneurship?
So I would say that it started out, well, first I'm going to start by saying I've always had it in my family. I didn't really pay that close attention until 10th grade when I had a class. I went to Parkway West High School.
Hey.
And during my 10th grade class, we had an entrepreneurship class. And my teacher at the time was Miss Malika Sankofa. And she's also partners with the Entrepreneurship Center located on, I believe it's like 48th and Market.
Okay.
So I was taking a few classes for the entrepreneurship class, and then we ended up having a business competition. So, I took everything I learned from class, had all my paperwork as far as like my business plans and different stuff that we had to formulate to enter the competition. I entered, and then it was 3 people, including myself, that won the competition. And then from there, they actually brought us over to the Entrepreneurship Center like a couple of days out of the week.
Okay.
And we had like our own office space, our own telephone. We had mentors, and then we were also granted a couple $1,000s to start whatever we wanted. Yeah, so that's how it all got started. In 10th grade at Parkway West High School, that's where I came up with Exquisite events.
Word. That's crazy. That's amazing.
Yes.
So, by the way, let's show off.
Yes.
Can we show off your
Yes,
first
yes.
ever card?
My
This is the first ever card. 10th grade, right?
Yes, 10th grade.
And let's show off how the progression.
Yes.
What year was this? You would say this card?
Oh my God, I'm gonna say probably like 2012.
2012. Exquisite event. And then we go to now. Exquisite event.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Okay, so let's talk about how that experience shaped you today.
Okay. So it's definitely progressed and evolved over the years to something much larger on a larger scale. So now before it started off with just events and parties. So now it's events, parties, weddings, which is my favorite part. Weddings, and catering as well. So we've combined all of those services with Exquisite events.
That's amazing. So like, what's the first time that you could think about, the first time you ever curated an event from top to bottom? Like, when did that happen?
So I would say that would be in 2014. No, 15. Excuse me, for my daughter's first birthday party.
Alright.
My daughter's first birthday party. She turned 1, and I wanted to do something nice for her. And so I got everything together, all the materials together, and then it turned out really nice. So I was like, you know what? I need to pick this back up, and I need to really do this. So from there, I took pictures. Everybody was saying, they loved it. And then over the years, I just started, gaining more customers and clients over time.
Okay. So this is a random question that I just have, like, based off, like, that experience. Like, what's your favorite, like, what was your favorite event that you curated? Like, outside of that, because I'm sure, I know that's special, your daughter's first birthday, but outside of that, anything else that you worked on that you was like, yo, that was it. I'm here.
Okay, so I did a wedding probably like 2 years ago. That was my favorite event. It was big. That was my biggest wedding. So that was about 250 people. I definitely loved the process of how everything went. The person that booked me, she never met me a day in her life.
Okay.
It was word of mouth. I met her probably about 3 weeks close to the wedding, and she was just like, we're the same sign. We get along very well, and she's much older. Okay. So, she was real anal about a lot of stuff. She was like, I trust your judgment. I gave her my layout of what I wanted to do. She was like, okay, this looks great. She trusted me with everything. She let me do my thing. She, told me certain things that she wanted specifically. I went, I did it, and it turned out so beautiful. It was amazing.
Okay, so let's paint a picture for the people, right? What goes into, let's talk about a wedding specifically now.
Okay.
What goes into, like, creating the best experience for whoever gets you to create that experience? What goes from top to bottom? What do you bring to the table?
Okay, so I first start with a consultation, either in phone or in person. After the consultation, I more so gather everything that they wanted from soup to nuts. If the different color palettes, the different color schemes, the different accent colors, different vases, different floral, if they want catering, whatever goes into it, we definitely discuss that. And then we have a deeper relationship because we keep in contact up until the point of the event. So after, we meet, of course paperwork goes out, and then I keep a strategic timeline and information so they'll know what I'm doing and I'll know what they're doing. Sometimes we do contract. I help them with contract negotiation, looking up different vendors and different venues for that event. And then a couple of days before the actual event or wedding, I meet with them one more time to make sure everything is set in stone. And then on the actual day, me and my team, we come together after we have meetings, on the back end. We come together and then we put together the Exquisite event.
Right. Man, that's amazing. So you said team. So let's talk about team now.
Team.
And we talked about before this entire interview, we talked about it offline, and you told me about your family.
Yes.
And how, you're big on family.
Yes.
And so how has your family contributed to your success as a businesswoman?
Okay, so are we going all the way back?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay, we're going to go all the way
let us
back.
know.
Okay, so I contribute everything that is deep inside of me, like the blood of the hustle, everything to my grandfather.
Word.
His name was Gilbert C. Jones, and he was the GOAT. That's what I'm going to say. He was the GOAT in my eyes.
Yes.
He was a hard-working businessman. He opened his first business on 59th and Chestnut. It was the first black-owned cleaners in that area. It was called G&R Cleaners. So we were in West Philadelphia, and the business was, my mom, my uncle, my grandmother, and then when my dad came in the picture, it was him too. So, for example, first and foremost, my grandfather, he still always worked his 9 to 5. When he got off, he came to the cleaners and he was the tailor. So he did all the sewing. He made sure, everything was cool. My mom and my grandmother ran the front end of the business. My uncle did the pressing. And when I got older, I tried to do the front end too. I tried to get the clothes and all that other stuff. But he was really the person that I want to say started everything. So he was the type of person, he brought everything, outright cash. He worked very hard. He helped people, because he was into properties as well. He helped people get properties. He helped people, do the paperwork, doing everything, correct. So it really started from him. And then, ever since then, learning about my background and learning about my grandfather, I had that drive. Like, I wanted to be like him. I wanted to do everything from the ground up, no handouts. We doing this straight cash. My grandfather never took out no loan, nothing.
That's amazing.
Nothing. Everything he purchased, straight cash. My grandfather purchased his house cash.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything he purchased was cash. So I want to say I got that from him, and then my mom and my dad definitely pushed me into being the person that I am today too. So, they always support me. Whatever it is that I wanted to do, they were always behind me 100%. My mom always made sure, whatever it is, business-wise, if I needed help with something or resources, she always got it for me. My dad was more so like the labor person, helping me with everything. So that's kind of where it all started.
Yeah, that's an incredible story. So let's talk about, now that we understand, or we starting to understand the hustle and the drive. Let's talk about, your perseverance at this point. So, because we talk again, and you told me you're still working full time.
I'm still working full time.
You're still in school.
I'm still in school.
And you still have you have multiple businesses.
Yes.
So, like, where do you find the time and energy to create and carry out exquisite events? And we're gonna talk about Red Line still, but
okay.
Where do you find the time and energy to do it?
So, there's not enough hours in the day.
I know that.
There's not enough hours in the day, but my parents play a big part. My family and my support system. I have a handful of people that are always there for me, no matter what. Those are my right hands, literally. Like my god sister Brie, my cousin Addie, my parents, and some other people. Like, they are always there for me. So, with all of those things going on, just like today, like Sundays or whatever. Like, if we didn't do this, most likely, I'll be chilling with my family, watching TV. But it's just the little times that I can just find, leisure time, and to just be able to relax. It's not all the time, and that's just being honest. Ever since this pandemic and, the quarantine, it has given me and afforded me the time to be able to just chill out and relax. With that particular question, the only thing I could tell you is that, I always just press my way, and I always just go. Like, I go, whatever needs to be done, I get it done. The thing is, this is really my passion. Yeah. So it's like, it has to get done regardless, because I want to flourish in whatever I'm doing. So, my parents definitely helped me a lot with my daughter, because I'm also a full-time mom.
Right.
And like I said, my support system, they definitely help pull up the weight whenever I need them.
But you're doing it.
You're doing it.
And you're doing it wonderfully. Look at the spread.
Thank you.
Look at the
you want to get something? You want to try something now?
Okay.
You scared?
Let's do it. No, I'm not scared. I'm not scared. Okay. All right. I'm going to admit.
Okay.
I'm kind of scared to cut it, because I don't know
cheeses.
what's going to look like right now, but we live, so it is what it is. So we're going to cut it. And if it come out how I've never been here before, but we here now.
All right.
We
We're going to try it. So I'm going to start with this stuff.
Cool.
And here goes some cheese cubes, just in case. So if you want to start with that.
Yeah. By the way, thank y'all for joining us, Small Business Sundays with Gianna Graham, mogul.
Yes.
Yes. I mean it. So let me get some strawberries. I'm allergic to strawberries sometimes.
Gianna asked you.
I know, right? But listen, I should be alright.
Okay.
Because I eat them before and been cool.
Okay.
But I don't know if I eat them in excess, it might be a bad jump.
Grapes and stuff. All right, you want to try to cut this cheese? We gonna try.
Oh, all right. So that
jump. You know what? This one is softer.
Okay, that looks good. That's cool. That's good for me.
You should be able to really get this together without any real complications or issues. If you want to take the fork, you can. You're welcome.
All right, hold up. My cut game horrible, but
you are fine.
All right.
This cheese, I don't know about that. So I'm gonna leave that.
Do we put it on the?
Well, you know what? You can try it on. You could try it on a piece of bread. Okay. Brie cheese is more so like creamier.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, you can spread it if you want to. And if you want some of this, you can get some of that. Depending on what you get.
Some of this too. Excuse me. Listen, y'all, this is amazing. I never the cheeses. So like
the different types of cheeses.
there's so many different types of cheeses. That's amazing. I think I'm gonna leave that one alone for now.
Okay.
We can try to cut that later. That Joe look real. So I'm gonna chill out. But let me taste this.
Real hefty.
Let me taste this real
I'm
quick.
coming with the dunk.
I will.
Now this jam is really good.
Oh,
You like it?
it's good.
You gotta taste the lemon and pear jam.
I will.
That right there is giving me a little vibe.
I'm not really like a jam person, jelly person,
Mhm.
but I'm willing to try it.
Okay, try it.
What did you try with the cracker?
I tried it with the cracker. You know what? I had some of this and a little bit of that. You know, it's just about different flavors and merging different flavors together.
I see.
And then some things come together and it just be like,
That's good.
That's good, right?
That's good. Damn, what is that?
So that's the lemon pear jam.
Mm.
And this is the pistachio, walnut, and fig
I didn't
cream
try
cheese. Mm-hmm.
Yo, that jam is.
It's really
that's
good,
it,
right?
That's it right there. I like that. I can go for that.
Mm-hmm.
So like, do you make these from scratch? The jam? Are you?
No.
Okay, I thought you was
No,
that deep in,
no.
and it's fine. It's good though, because I wouldn't know it without you. So
I'm
it's
not
all
doing
good.
no jam from scratch.
I don't know what goes into that. I really don't know what goes into that, but it's really good, y'all. So, like I said, wedding, birthday party,
Yes.
any
Social
event,
gatherings.
social gathering.
It doesn't even have to be that deep, right?
Yeah.
Say if you want to go, you know what? A lot of people book me for like really private events. Like I've had, couples like, oh, can you do something for me? Can you cook for me? Can you set up something for me? You might be going to a hotel, like a private location. I'll come, decorate, set up everything, cook the food, and I'm out once I'm done. And then when they come in, they're like, oh my God, this is so beautiful.
Fellas,
Yes.
get with G.
Yes.
She gonna have you good.
Mm-hmm.
She gonna have you good. I'm gonna have to talk to you off camera because I might need somebody watching. What's up, baby? But
I got you.
so let's talk about, all right, so this Sunday, we talked about your faith strong, your faith in God.
Yeah.
So how has your faith in God carried you through, coming up with the idea for Exquisite events or blurred lines and then carrying it out and, being deep in it, even just with properties and anything that you're doing? Like, how has your faith, in God carried you along?
So first and foremost, like I told you, I don't do nothing without praying first.
Right.
Like, I need to pray first. Me and God need to have a conversation. I need to make sure that this is a part of my ministry.
Right.
So that's the first thing. I always pray. I always pray about it. When God speaks to me, then I move. I don't do nothing without consulting Him first. But in general, like I told you, my dad is a pastor.
Okay.
My faith started as a little girl. As far as I can remember, I've always been going to church. My dad started off as a deacon. We always went to church every Sunday. I was always on the choir. Always did everything. I was an usher, whatever. I was always heavily involved in the church. And when I was younger, I really couldn't understand why we was going to church every Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, this was every Sunday.
Right,
and I'm like, we gotta go again. Some days I might want to just chill and hang with my friends. We gotta go to Bible study. I gotta go to choir rehearsal. Y'all still dragging me to church. And I remember at one point I was like, you know what? When I get older, I'm that's it. That's it. I catch church on some holidays. And that's it. But that kind of changed too. Because as I got older, I want to say that my relationship with God deepened so much that it wasn't no more about the tradition part. It wasn't like, come on, G, let's go to church or whatever. It's because I wanted to go to church. It's because I wanted that relationship with God. So, like I told you before, like I done been through some stuff, and I know only God, only God did it. So it was just like, God, that's my homie. Like
that's good. No,
that's my
sure.
homie.
God is good.
All the time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I grew up in the church too.
Mhm.
I don't go
Mhm.
anymore, but my faith is still strong
Right.
in God. I believe, and I do support praying before doing
Mhm.
anything that's beneficial to
Right.
you,
Right.
because He only has your best interest in mind.
Right.
I mean, so
Mhm.
it's
But let me
definitely
tell
good to
you,
do that.
speaking for real, God will open doors for you that nobody else can. He'll
Correct.
open some doors. He'll maneuver some stuff out your way. Matter of fact, in Sunday school this morning, we was talking about Gideon and the I forgot the other part. Don't judge me.
It's all good. It's all good.
But we was talking about some stuff, and I was just thinking, like, when you put God in it, like, you don't have to do too much. And that's one thing I love about God. Like, if I bring something to God and me and Him on one accord, there's not much that I got to do. Of course, I got to put in the work, and I got to stay before Him. But God would make stuff so easy for you,
Yeah.
and the transition be like so decent. You be like, okay, God, I
Right.
see you.
This
Like,
is God.
when men say no, God be like, hold on, we gonna change this around.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about, like, because we was talking about school, so
Nah,
this is really like
this is
what
the
I wasn't even gonna go there, but I
part.
just
This
want to
is
talk about
the
school because
part.
we know you need deep in, you
Mhm.
full-time mom,
Mhm.
full-time in the career,
Yes.
full-time in school. So, like, remember we was talking about that experience
Mhm.
when God came through for you. So let's talk
Mhm.
about it real quick. It's Sunday. Let's talk about it.
Yes. Let the church say amen.
Yeah, I mean, you feel me? So we can talk about it real quick. Just let the people give your testimony.
Okay, so this is my testimony. So, after I graduated high school, went straight into college. I was going to LaSalle University at the time. I don't know why I wanted to go to LaSalle so bad. I was just like, I want to go here. Like, that's just it. I want to go to LaSalle. No other schools. Like, that was it. And I went to LaSalle. Started off good. I'm gonna say started off good, and then, like, I just got so distracted to the point where I wasn't even attending classes. It was so bad. Like, one time I was late to a class. Like, I think the class started at 8:30 or 8 or something. I got there like 9, and I'm knocking on the door, and the professor's looking at me like no, like, you can't get in. And I'm like, I'm paying this money. You telling me that I'm not gonna be able to get in? Like, this is crazy. But because of my lack of attendance and not being able to, like, turn in the work and do the assignments, like, to keeping it all the way to being like, I just failed, like, flunk, I failed, whatever you want to call it. And during the time, the job that I'm at currently, I've always did, like, my high school internship, and when I was attending LaSalle, I did my college internship there. So I've always had a great relationship with my employer because my work ethic was amazing. I moved into, like, different departments. I got to know, like, a lot of people, higher up people and stuff. So when I spoke to my advisor, she was just like, yeah, I don't think, the school thing is for you. You might just want to just work. You said you got an internship. You might just want to work full time. And I was like, ugh.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to break this news to my parents. My mom done graduated from Drexel. My dad done graduated from Pierce. And I'm supposed to graduate. And here I am done flunked out. Not because I wasn't able or capable of doing the work. It's because I was just so distracted with so many other things. So I wasn't focused during that time.
Yeah.
So anyway, my grades was horrible. My GPA was at an all-time low. I stopped going to school. I did start working full-time after I had my daughter. A month after I had her, I actually went back to work. And my job has this program where you can get your degree or finish your degree or get, your master's and your bachelor's, whatever you prefer, whatever you need. They offer the college tuition reimbursement and program at my job. So after you finish a year, you're eligible for the program. So they partner with universities like St. Joe's University, Drexel University, Rosemont. That's where I go, Rosemont. But I'll get to this part. So to make a long story short, I applied for the program. I got in. I started doing all the work, and out the back, I'm knocking it out, getting A's and everything, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I could do this. Like, I got this. Like, I'm about to be finished soon. Like, whatever. So they started asking me for my transcript. Yeah. And I'm like, that.
You want to get that joint up, right?
I'm like, that thing. That thing is where LaSalle is located, probably locked up, and they done threw away the key, honey. Yeah. Like, I'm not getting it. I was like, I can't get my transcript. And plus, I knew my GPA was so low. Like, I didn't even want them to even see that GPA, especially because, you know, while I was in school, like, I still had my 4.0 GPA for all of my classes. So I was doing my thing. So I'm like, I don't want that nut behind GPA. I done got a 4.0. Yeah. Now you want my transcript.
Right.
And I was, that's how it's got a balance that I'm, still working on. So,
we ain't gonna talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about that right now.
But I'm working on it though, so it's okay.
It's all good. Okay.
So they of course they wouldn't allow me to get it, but anyway, they kept asking for my transcript. I'm like, I can't get it. So the dean called me and was like, I'm sorry, but if you can't get your transcript, then you won't be able to continue at Rosemont. So literally, I'm at work, and like this feeling just came over me, and I just immediately like started crying so bad. Like, I went into a private office, I was bawling my eyes out. I came home, and I was talking to my parents about it. I was like, oh my God, I don't know what I can do. Like, this is something that I really want. Like, I really want to get my degree. I feel like I was in a better space, like mentally. To be able to do this, I really wanted to do this. I really wanted to get my degree. So I'll never forget the very next day I had a class. Now, mind you, I done aced a couple classes I done took. This was the class that had been my last class per se. So I was just sitting there, just looking at the professor. She's teaching her lesson, and I'm just like, why am I even here? Like, but I can't not do the work because then I would have to pay the company back. Right. So I'm like, this is horrible. Like, I'm just sitting there, she just steady teaching. I'm like, man, this is crazy. But then something just came up, and I was like, you know what, God, I'm gonna get this to you. Like, I'm putting this in your hands. Like, you please, like, you gotta move on my behalf, because I done came too far. I was like, you know what, I'm turning this over to you. And once I said that, I got back in the groove of things. I'm listening to my professor, and literally that next day, I had got a phone call from the dean, and he was like, listen, I'm making a one-time exception for you. He was like, I'm going to let you finish your degree at Rosemont College. I'm going to let you get your degree at Rosemont College. He was like, under two stipulations. I was like, anything. Whatever you need. Right. So he was like, you can't get below a C. And he was like, you can never take out any loans with us. If you want to take any extra classes or do any extracurriculars, you have to pay for that out of pocket. So I was like, bet. Like, I was like, I will not let you down. And since then, I still maintain my 4.0. Hey. I'm still, getting my classes together. I'm almost finished. I'll be starting my master's program soon. So that's my story.
Hear that, y'all? Listen, I just want everybody to understand, like, you might want to do something and you got your heart set on it. Mm-hmm. You might think school might hold you back. Don't believe it. If you really want it, you just go get it. G, you are a living example.
Yes.
You breathing example of somebody that's been relentless, wanted it bad enough, and went to go get it. So, like, kudos and congrats to you.
And timing is everything.
Yeah.
It's about the right time.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about timing. All right, bet. Mm-hmm. I like that. It's going smoothly. So let's talk about blurred lines. Like, when did you know it was the right time to create blurred lines and bring that experience to Philadelphia?
So, 2 years ago for my birthday, I wanted to do something fun. I wanted to do something different. I'm always, going to New York or hanging with my girls and stuff like that. I just wanted to do something just a little bit different. So, I was talking to someone, and I was like, yeah, New York got this decent, like, painting thing, and they got cocktails and stuff or whatever. I was like, I'm thinking about doing it for my birthday. And she was like, why don't you do it yourself? So I was like, do it myself? She was like, yeah. She's like, why don't you do it yourself? And I thought about it, prayed about it, talked to my parents about it. And then immediately, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to see how it goes. So, blurred lines, what I wanted to do was make sure that blurred lines had the culture piece of it had an urban edge to it, but that will also allow diversity in there, you know.
Okay.
And I wanted to, you know, have an array of things going. So I wanted unlimited cocktails there, because, you know, when painting, anything is good with some cocktails and some good music.
Yeah, no,
Once you
sure.
got some cocktails, some good music, and some good food,
Oh yeah,
you good.
You in there.
You are good. Like, it's nothing else that you really need to have a good time. So
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I was like, I'm gonna do this. So I did it. I made my website. My coworker was helping me with everything. And once we got everything together, I launched it on my birthday. I sold out the tickets. A lot of people came. We had an amazing time. And then from there, it just grew. Like, it just got bigger. I started dealing with a lot of people. People were asking me for private parties.
Yeah.
I did an event with Malika. She's the founder of Dia4. I'm not sure you heard of her. Dia4.
I don't know, but I gotta look into it for sure.
Yep, Dia4. I did a private party with Saul before.
Word.
Yup. So I mean, it's just been a great experience ever since.
Yeah. So all right, let's keep with the Blurred Lines experience. Of course, during the pandemic, you weren't able to have it outside. I would assume, right? Or in a building. So I noticed you took it online, and you were doing the virtual dates. So like now, like what's the next move with Blurred Lines? Where do you see that going now that things are starting to open back up? Meaning like green phase, right? Green phase. So like, yeah, where do you see that going?
So the biggest thing for Blurred Lines right now is just finding a decent building that will allow for us to do everything. Meaning like the cocktails, the food, and then the hookah and all of that stuff. So I need to get a space. So we're working on getting a space that is actually ours. Like, I'm kind of over the whole renting experience because, it can get a little pricey.
Okay.
So I'm looking for my own building so that we can have our own events whenever. Because a lot of people call and they want private events. So, you know, I want to be able to give my clients or customers that experience.
Yeah.
So finding the building. In the meantime, you know, while looking into all of that, I also partner with our house located in Germantown. Now, we can't do as much, like we can't have like a fryer in there with like extra food, but we do have like other food that we can serve in there, and we are able to do the drinks in there as well, as long as, you know, we have the tickets and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna continue partnering with her once everything opens back up until I find my own space, and then we'll do a grand opening with that.
Nice. I can't wait because I
Yes,
gotta go. I gotta
yes,
go.
you gotta
I gotta go.
come.
I gotta bring some friends and
Yes.
make it happen. So let's talk about what's your greatest achievement thus far that you can think about. You might have already said it, but if you didn't, just reiterate. Like, what has been your greatest achievement as a businesswoman, and then more so, not even more so, but also, what has been your greatest lesson? I'm not going to say loss at this point. I'm going to say lesson.
Okay, so I'm gonna say my greatest achievement with all of my businesses is being able to just evolve with time. It has not been a dull moment. My clients, I either have loyal customers that continue coming to me, or I have new customers. So definitely sticking with everything, you know, practicing to make everything better. That has been my greatest achievement. Sticking to it, sticking with it, and sticking to it. One of the greatest lessons that I have learned, this was more recent too.
Okay.
Mixing family and business. Well, friends or associates and stuff with business.
Okay.
Because I'm the type of person, for example, if you was having a product or service, right, and I wanted to support you, I'm going to support you.
Right.
I'm not going to ask you for a discount. I'm not going to say, now, you know, your product is $100, but because we know each other, you know, we hung out a few times, can I get this for $5? No.
Right.
I'm going to support you 100% in whatever you want to do. So, you know, I had an incident where somebody wanted me to do something for them, and they wanted it for little or nothing. And they basically wanted me to do the whole thing for free, but it's just like, okay, I have to get material, I have to get products, I have to pay my workers, so it doesn't work like that.
Right.
And so like that puts a strain on a relationship, because now I'm looking at you kind of funny, because if this was another person, if you went somewhere else, you wouldn't be asking them for that. You would be whatever they said it was. That's what it is,
right.
And you would give it to them without any heartache or whatever. Or you feel as though like you have the right to complain because like I'm your friend.
Yeah.
So I don't like stuff like that. So that really has put like, I won't say a damper, but it just really just opened my eyes just to be like, you know what? When it comes to stuff like that, I'd rather not do that. I have a lot of customers and clients, and my business, can speak for itself to the point where I don't need that frustration. Like, I'd rather keep my friendship or my relationship with somebody as opposed to losing it over something that is not even that deep. So that is my greatest lesson.
Okay. No, I understand totally. So with that being said, I want to let everybody know, support your friends, and if you can't support it with $1, you can share a post.
Yes.
You can retweet.
Yes, that is that's one of the biggest support systems. Like word of mouth, sharing.
Exactly.
It takes no money at all. All you have to do is a click of a button. If somebody needs a service or whatever the case may be, you can recommend them.
Right.
That's all it takes. You don't have to necessarily spend money all the time.
Exactly. But if you're gonna spend that money, don't be funny.
Don't be funny.
Real rap, man. Don't disrespect your friends, man. Especially when you got beautiful spreads like this, and like you took your time to create that. And we gotta respect each other for our artwork. You are an artist. I know you said it, but you are an artist. This is art. We gotta respect each other and pay what you weigh, man. Come on, stop playing.
Yes.
So let's talk about Black-owned businesses. How important is it for you to carry on the cycle of generational wealth within your family? Because you talk about your grandpa, you talk about your mom, now you, and your mom now. So like, how important is that to pass down? Like,
very important. I want to be able to set my daughter up in a way where she doesn't want a need for nothing. Whatever she decides to do in life, making good decisions, of course, I would hope, she doesn't have to turn to somebody else or have to go to anybody else because she has her own.
Right.
My goal is to upkeep all the properties that we have, all the new properties that I have, gotten over the recent years, and pass that down to her. And the goal is to keep it within the family so it can pass down to her kids, their kids, and they will have something tangible and something that they can hold on that can be their legacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could be like, oh, this is our family house, or this is our property. When she wants to get 18 or so, now you have a stream of income. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now you can help pay for your college tuition. Or this could go towards your car or whatever. Or this could go in your savings account, whatever the case may be. But that is something that belongs to you.
Right.
Can't nobody take it from you unless you like just completely mess up, you know, and don't take care of business. I mean, but that's the other part of it. Business is business. You gotta keep up on the taxes with with properties. You gotta keep up on different stuff. So as long as you maintain, you will always have, and that's the goal. That's the goal for me.
Yeah.
That's the goal that my mom instilled in me, and that's the goal that I am going to definitely instill into Kay as well.
Word. So let's talk about let's stick there with goals, long term, because I just seen something on Instagram, which you put it out maybe yesterday.
Yesterday.
You got a property.
Yes,
going on.
yes.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Seriously, like you doing it. So can you talk a little bit about like just whatever information you feel like giving up? I'm just interested in knowing like when did you acquire this property and like as far as the renovations and because it looks good.
Okay.
It looks great.
Yes.
I know you're not done, so like where you like just go into it.
Okay. So I acquired the property probably like a few years ago. I purchased all the material, put the material in the house, and then somebody just completely like stole all the material.
Oh.
Like, so it was like squatters, I guess, that were living in there because the house, nobody was in the house for a while. So
that's crazy.
they were in the house because it was like little like Coke bags and stuff in there. It was horrible. And I caught myself locking up everything so good. But no, they came in, they took everything from like floors to drywall to paint to the toilet. everything.
Yo,
I mean, and
that's
at this
wild.
point, I'm like, nobody's singing, nobody walking out with all of this stuff, nobody's asking none of these questions, like, what is going on? But no, they took everything. So, because I paid for everything out of pocket, I didn't take out no loans, no grants, or whatever for the house. I had to save all that money again, and I had to make sure I had enough for the material and the labor part of it. So I started the house. I want to say I started the kitchen floor. Let's put it like that. Probably last year, and then I started the remaining part of the renovations, which is the rest of the house. I want to say probably about 6 weeks ago.
Wow.
So 6 weeks in total. I did everything, got the house together, and I turned over the keys yesterday. And I'm so happy to be done with the house.
Hey,
I'm
hey.
so happy to be done with the
I
house.
understand. I'm with you. So like, all right. So where do you see yourself as a businesswoman in the next 5 to 10 years? Let's go there.
You know what? I want to, the next 5 or 10 years, I want to do something that's going to be easy on me.
Okay.
I love everything that I do, but after a while, this stuff can really get taxing on your body and on your mind. It's a lot of stress or whatever the case may be. So I definitely want to continue with all my businesses, but I want to have my own, my own space. I want to have a wedding venue that can pull probably approximately like 250 people or so. I want people to be able to just, come and say, oh, I want to book a wedding this day. You can have your own vendor come and decorate, or if you want us to design it for you, we can. But I want to be able to make smarter moves that is not so taxing on myself.
Okay. Next, I wanna talk about like a subject that needs to be talked about.
Mm-hmm.
We know in this world, white supremacy is a real thing. I believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fake. It's real, y'all.
It's
So
real.
stop playing. But as a black woman,
Mm-hmm.
especially in this industry, this business industry,
Mm-hmm.
how has your experience been? Like, has it been like fair as far as like trying to acquire certain things? Like, how is that? Has it been like fair? Has it been fair to you?
Well, this is what I'm going to say. I haven't experienced anything yet that was like crazy. Thank God, knock on something. But being black, a lot of people, I try to keep a very professional image.
Yeah.
I want everything to be professional. I want everything to be beautiful because I don't want you to think that this is a joke. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I want you to take me and my business serious, and I'm going to conduct business as such. I'm going to demand respect from whoever I speak with. If you want to play whatever type of game you want to play, then I'm out. I could take my business elsewhere, but definitely, I always try to stick within our community as well, and not just anybody, because I want to see you thriving too. So if I come to you and you're being unprofessional with me, then I'm not going to use you. It's not because anything, but I want to be professional all the way around the board. So I'm going to find somebody else still in the same culture, community, that's going to be professional and about their business, because that's certain things that I don't, play around with.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you on that. So let's take it back to let's talk about mentorship.
Mhm.
You mentioned mom and dad, of course,
Mhm.
but like outside of mom and dad, if you need to know something about business, or even if it's a book or anything, like
Mhm.
what are your go-tos? Like, where do you go to get that knowledge and information? If they just not happen to be around at this point, but you really need to know something right now about acquiring the property or just doing something in that property, who you talk to?
My go-to person would be my aunt Glenna.
Okay.
She's another goal. She's a black woman that is doing her thing, and when I mean doing her thing, she really doing her thing.
Yeah.
She got like 1,000 daycares with
Man,
property.
okay.
No, but she's such a sweetheart.
Mhm.
And one thing that I love about her is that she does not withhold any information.
Right.
Anything that you want to know, she will give it to you. She won't give it to you, but she will give it to you. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
She's going to teach you the fundamentals on how to survive and how to maintain.
Nice.
And that's one thing that, we always talk about. People always want stuff handed to them.
Yeah.
You could be like, gee, how can I do this? And people expect like, here.
Right.
Instead of me being like, this is how you do it, because they don't want to take the time to do it.
Exactly.
So she's been so influential in my life. Anything that I ask her for, she's more than willing to open up and let me know, give me any type of resources, any type of connects. Like, I love her. She's not selfish at all. She's so knowledgeable. Like I said, she's such a sweetheart, and she has that like open door policy where I could really ask her anything.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. I might have to
hit her up.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? I need some guidance.
Yes.
No, but I understand, like, just people like to ask for help a lot, but they want the help they ask for, they want you to do the work instead of, like, you know, putting in some work first, and then, you know, where you get stuck at, like, you can always have somebody else, you know, step in, but you gotta put in the work first. So I want everybody just to remember, put some work in.
Put some work in.
Don't be afraid.
Yes, that's how you build your work ethic.
Seriously,
that's how you build your character.
You got it. And thank you for coming to Small Business Sundays. We putting in the work. Darnell and Gianna, we putting in work. So lastly and finally, I want to know what's your best piece of, and we might have already said it, but what's your best piece of advice for somebody that once they get started doesn't know how, like where do they, like, maybe they don't have an aunt like yours, they don't have a mom like yours, they don't have a dad like yours, like, what do they do?
Okay.
In your opinion?
You know what? I'm glad God just put it to my mind. Okay. So first thing we're gonna do, like I always said, we're gonna pray about it first, right?
Right.
The second thing that you need to do is research whatever you want to do. I don't care if you use YouTube as a research.
Right.
YouTube has so many platforms where people are just giving you free content and information.
YouTube
it doesn't matter. They will teach you how to tie your shoe. They will teach you how to wake up in the morning. I mean, all you gotta do is just go and look and listen.
Yeah.
But like I said, the research portion of it is so important. Like for me, I used to, when I was working downtown, I used to go to Barnes and Nobles especially in the summertime, every lunch break. And I would look up things about weddings. I would look up things about different floral arrangements. I would look up things about different place settings and stuff. And I would build my knowledge on what I wanted to do. So you really have to do the research. You really have to do the legwork. You just can't never go into something blindsided. Right. Never go into something without doing the research and putting in the legwork, because you're setting yourself up for failure. The best way to be successful is to find out who your clientele will be. You know, like I said, do your research, you know, ask. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Whatever you are currently doing, take certain pieces from that and see how you can use it for your business. That's one of the greatest things that I learned. Working at a $1 billion company, it's a lot of things that I learned. Talking with people, talking with higher ups, executives, talking with brokers, sending emails, talking on the phone, going to meetings. I learned all of those things, and I got better at all of those things, and I took all of those things and I used it for what I do.
Exactly.
So take whatever it is. It does not matter what it is. You could be working at McDonald's, but the thing is, if you want to start a business, McDonald's is going to teach you customer service.
Exactly.
How do you service those people?
Right.
When you handing them is it here go your fries? Or here go your fries, you know, have a nice day. Like, so thank you for coming. You can take whatever you need to take from wherever and use it to build yourself and to make sure that you are perfect the way you want yourself to be. So that's my tip.
Yo, that's my tip. Listen, I couldn't say it any better. I'm trying to tell you because, like, I done been in so many jobs and I always took something with me when I left. When I worked at a sneaker store, it was understanding that customer service, like, because even when I left, like, people would just hit me up like, yo, it just was because we built that rapport. It just was who I was. I was making sure I didn't give people something they didn't need. I gave them what they wanted. So but just learning those things in there, and then now I work for a corporate company that's a multi-million-dollar company, which your company actually sponsors a lot of things.
Yes.
Yeah, y'all give us a lot of bread.
Yes.
But I've been in meetings, so many meetings, and I just soak up game. I remember when I first got the job, it was, at first, like, I didn't talk as much. And I got a lot of great advice from people around me, like my girl and my director. They always used to tell me to speak up and just, like, you know, ask some questions, like, get involved, like, so you could, like, yeah, you don't gotta be here, you're not gonna be here forever, but at the same time, you could take something from here. And so I learned so much, and actually I took a lot learning from that experience and create a small business Sunday. So here we go.
See?
You know what I mean?
There you go.
So
There you go. That's the best
right.
way to do it.
Yeah,
That's
right.
the best way to do it. Especially when you work at corporations like that, especially when they high up,
Yeah.
the wealth of information that you can get
And you getting paid.
yes,
for some
you
information.
get paid to do
They,
it.
they paying me
You
for
getting
information. I
paid
done went
to
to
do
so
it.
many conferences, like and I'm getting paid to go to this conference. What? You can't. I don't even have to pay for education at this point. Y'all paying me to get it?
Come on now.
I'm with it.
Yes,
So,
yes.
thank you, G.
You're
One last
welcome.
thing I want to know. Do you feel like you still have anything else to prove? Because, like, I feel like you in a motion to do all the things you set out to do. Like, do you have anything that you feel like you still need to prove?
To be honest, no. I move on my time.
Okay.
I move on my time. The only thing that I would ever need to prove or to get is that piece of paper, the degree from my parents, and that's it.
Word. Okay.
Other than that,
Shit.
that's it. Because the thing is, I'm not doing this for show.
Right.
I'm really doing this to better my life and my daughter's life and my family's life. So whatever I do, that's the real thing. It's not because it's a wave, it's what somebody else is doing it. I really enjoy doing it. And I really want to see myself succeed and thrive. I know the type of lifestyle that I like all this and stuff.
Yeah.
We would have been at some type of fancy restaurant,
No,
you know what I'm saying?
right. Yeah,
but that's the type of vibes that I like. That's the type of lifestyle that I want to maintain for myself or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I never had anything less than that, so I'm going to maintain it. And I'm going to make sure that my family is straight, my family is cool. So it's just like whatever I'm doing for myself.
Exactly. We're gonna stop it right there. Then we're gonna end it right there. Can we? I like to before we close out. I like to do this game, and if you watched already, you know what game I'm talking about. It's a word association game.
Okay.
And somebody is like, why are they?
No, Lord.
It's like 6 o'clock, right?
7 at this point.
Maybe they just wait till the sun go down a little bit. All right, I understand.
Okay.
Do your thing. But okay, so it's a word association game. When we talk, I wrote things down in quotations because I realized it stuck out to me. So I'm gonna say a word that you inspired me to write, and whatever phrase or word comes to mind, just let me know what you think about when I say it. Cool?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You ready? Design,
Weddings,
family,
parents,
faith,
God,
generational wealth,
daughter,
team,
family,
pressure.
none.
Hey. I feel like we family feuding right there. This the buddy. What's that round when it be way on the clock? Okay. God.
First,
Support.
system,
Prayer.
life,
Being black.
matters.
There you go. That was amazing. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for
yes.
being the first mogul. We're gonna say that. This is the first mogul. Multi-dimensional mogul. You got so many businesses. Not too many, I'm sorry. So many that I said because you handle it well.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming on, giving the game to the people.
Yes.
I'm sure somebody out there that you're
Yes.
inspiring right now.
Yes.
The motivation they need to get started, to know that they can do it, to know a full-time mom, a full-time student, full-time worker, and a multi-dimensional mogul is doing it.
Yes.
You can do it too.
It can be done.
Trust me,
It
you
can
can
be
do it too.
done.
And you black.
Period.
Let's get it.
I want nothing else.
Let's get it. So, again, thank you.
Thank you.
Where can people follow you? I'm sorry, like we ain't do that. Where can people follow you at? I know if you watch it, you can probably see. No, they can't. I'm sorry, because we ain't doing a split screen.
No.
Where can they follow you at?
Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram. My personal page is impeccably G. You can follow me on Exquisite Events. I believe it's exquisite.ee.events.
Word.
And then you can follow me on Blurred Lines for the paint and sip, which is Blurred Lines PHL. I'm also on Facebook. I'm on YouTube.
Oh,
so,
yeah. They gotta watch I watched yo. Too much personality. Y'all gotta watch it. It's great. It's great content.
Yes.
You gotta keep going with that
Yes,
content too.
yes.
I
So
mean,
I'm definitely going to put this up on my YouTube page and everything. So, that's where you can follow me.
Word.
You need me, hit me up.
Yes. Again, thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate everybody for joining us for another Small Business Sundays
Thank
conversation.
you.
This is Gianna Graham. I'm Darnell. I'm not going to say my last name because it's on the graphic. Thank y'all. Peace and love.
Bye.
We out.